Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie room. We've got something today that I am really excited about, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I've either always missed the opportunity or they tend to be a little bit expensive. So I've steered away, but I took the plunge. And last year, I think one of the last shows I went to, there was some of these guys there, and they were the tiniest little slings you could believe. And I thought, what the hell, we're going to go for it. So we bought 7 of them. There were 7 left on the table, so I bought the lot, had them all. They are in fact the green Lynx spider, which is a true spider. They're really, even as an adult, they're only around about this big. They don't get very big, but they are impressively pretty, really nice. I've never kept them before, and I thought it's about time we had a go at them because they are just so cool. Very nice spiders. So what I done was, when I got them, we had them in, they came in a tiny little sling pot, normal sling pot like that. And then what I done was I had this one on the side, and it was already had a bit of stuff in it and what have you, but no occupant. And I thought, right, I'm going to put them all in there together and we'll see how they go. Now, one of the things with the Lynx spider, we ought to say actually, these come from pretty much all over South America and certain parts of North America as well. And they are one of the few spiders, true spiders, any spiders really, that are fairly communal. You can keep them in groups. Now in the wild state, these guys live amongst the foliage and they're in the grasses and things like that. And this is how they sort of like, they move around like that. They're a very avid hunter, so they got keen eyesight, so they see and they actually stalk. They don't make webs like all our other spiders do. These guys do not need a web to catch food. They will physically go out there and grab it. They're more of an ambush type thing, so they will sit back and hide. One of the things that they've been found in is in flowers, just like the crab spiders. They'll sit inside a flower and they'll wait for a pollinating fly to come along, and then they'll grab that fly. They also are very prone to eating other spiders, although they don't bother with each other, which is really cool. So what we done was we put them all in here, and I think we started off with 7, and I think I've got 5 left. I don't know if it's quite possible to see them, but we will get a really good look at them in a moment. So what we're going to do, we are going to transfer them out of here now because they've actually grown on and they got to a reasonable size. They're sort of sub-adult size now. So what I want to do now is I want to separate them, and I want to keep them singly. So although they are, that's got a weird bottom on it, very strange. Right, so although they are quite happy as a communal spider, I'm hoping that we've got at least 1 male in there because I really do want to breed these guys. I think they'll be fantastic to do. So we're going to have a very simple setup, and I think my plan is that once we've mastered how we look after them, because unfortunately they're not the longest living spider, so I think we're looking at getting around about a year, maybe 18 months if we're really lucky. From what I've read, their lifespan is around about a year, so they tend to do a season, mate, produce egg sacs, and then they die off. So they're really not a long-lived creature. So if we haven't got a male in amongst these, we're in trouble. It might just be a project that never got going. So what we're going to do is simple deli cup. We'll just get a bit of tissue. It's the only thing, when you use new deli cups, they have like a static in them, and all your substrate sticks to the sides. It means we end up with a dodgy view. So we're just going to wipe that off, clean that up. That's better. Right, so all we're going to do is, as we said before, they're more of an ambush predator, so they don't create webs. So all I'm going to do, we're going to keep these so simple. And the reason behind keeping it simple is because we need to learn and find out exactly what it is that makes these guys tick. What's the best way of keeping them? And then we can go from there. And hopefully, if we get a male, which would be really cool, if we get a male in here and we manage to get an egg sac, then we can look at, I would like to in the future do a really nice sort of display tank with a number of individuals in it, so we keep them more as a communal based thing. But we've got to try and breed them first. So we're gonna, so all I've got now is I've just got these twigs here, which I literally just snapped off of a bush today. And all we're looking for is to give them something to sit on, something to climb on. And it would appear from the different, there's not a lot of information out there for them, but the information that is there is suggesting that they quite often just hang off the roof of anything that they're putting. So we'll see what they do. The other advantage of putting the sticks in is that it's going to give areas for their food to be able to clamber about, and this in turn will give the spider a hunting ground. It will give it something to concentrate to. So we're just going to do that. Alright, I think that was probably going to do it actually. I think that'll be alright. We don't want it getting too busy. We want it really simple. I don't need nothing else. Now another thing that we've done when they've been in here, we've not bothered giving them a water bowl. This is something that's a bit of an interesting thing now. So we're trying these without having to give them actual water. So what we have done in here is they've had condensation on the sides of the enclosure, and they're getting their fluids from that, plus the fluids from their food. Now these guys are being fed on fruit flies, and we can also give them green bottles, which you see here. There's a green bottle there. Now that is a really healthy meal for a lynx spider. It's almost as big as a lynx spider. Rather than chasing these ones around, what we can do, we feed the majority of our slings on maggots. So what we can do is when the maggots pupate in our tub that we have them in the fridge, we can take that pupa out, and we can drop the pupa inside, one in each side in here. And then as soon as they come from the fridge and they come into our warm room in here, give them a day or two, that pupa will hatch into a fly. And then we've got a fly in there already done. So we haven't got to worry about trying to catch them, chase them, throw them in a pot. You know what it's like, you throw it in, it's out before you know it. You know, and we end up with all sorts of trouble all over the place, and then we get in trouble because we've got flies all around the house. So that doesn't go down well. So what you do is you get that pupa, you just drop a pupa in, one every few days, depending on how hungry we find our spiders are. So that's going to be the plan. And then to mix it up a little bit, if we've got ones that are a little bit on the small side, we can give them fruit flies, which is pretty much what they've been getting so far. Right, I think it's time to have a look at these absolutely cracking spiders. Right, if you'd like to come over, you will find these guys will be all on the lid. And this is something that we've noticed in here. The majority of them, they're all in here, and they're all on the lid. So we're going to lift it up. You see where they make those tiny bits of web? Here we go. Now look at that. We've got 4 on the lid already. Look at that for an amazing spider. That is absolutely phenomenal, is it not? Now, at a guess, I would say that this one here is a female. And we've got a little one inside there, which is possibly, oh, there's another one there. So what's that? 4, 5, that's 6. We had 7. So if we've only lost the one, I will be very pleased. That's really cool. Now, did you see that? That one literally dropped, and this is part of their escape. How they escape things is they literally just drop. So we're going to see now whether we can get them to drop into the box. There you go.
We missed that one.
Sorry. He's in. So there's one in. All right, let's see if you can catch this one. Are you ready? Here it is. You can see this one's actually eating a fruit fly now. Can you see that? We can zoom in, use the zoom. You'll see he's actually eating a fruit fly.
You're moving, we're getting a reflection.
See that? Aren't they beautiful?
Oh. Not that good.
Not that
That's
good.
That's it, stay there. I'm getting a good look at him, I can't see.
Alright.
Okay.
What we do, we want him to drop in here. So we'll see if his natural behaviour is for them to drop and fall away. You see that? He just literally just, there you go, he's in. Oh, he's come back up again. So he's using that tiny bit of silk. You can see where it's pulling him. Come on, get a grip. Let's see, we've got to be very careful how we pull away, you see. There you go.
Get the fly now.
There you go, you got that? Absolutely fantastic little things. Now there is a difference with the abdomens. Well, we've got 2 here. I'm pretty sure this one here is a female. It's got a really nice wide abdomen. And then this one here is much thinner. It's a much smaller beastie. It's not got the colour in the legs and things like that. I think this one could possibly be a male. I'm not 100% sure as to how we sex them, but there obviously will be differences. So what we'll do is we will get this one, and we see that he just jumped. Well, that one's gone as well. Well, I'm not sure which is which here. Alright, let's leave her be for a minute. Let's get rid of this one. That's it, he's in. We'll put the lid on that. Alright, just check we've got no more on the lid. Interesting bit of stuff there. Bit of fluff there. It's almost like they've had an egg sac already. But I wouldn't have thought they have. Right, let's see if we can't.
She's coming to see you.
Oh, here she comes. Alright. You see how she's behaving? And you can see there now, she's got her legs up in what we can only assume is a sort of a threat display. You see how they're very reactive to anything that's around them. And obviously, we don't want to...
Jumping.
They jump really well, don't they? We don't want to... Look at that. They literally do jump. Right, what we're going to do... As soon as they get on your hand, they literally jump off. Right. There we go, look at that.
Oh.
Now, as we was explaining, I'll turn that a little bit. As we were explaining, in the wild, when these guys are in the grasses and they're in the shrubs and things like that, that is their natural response to danger. They will literally leap and run, and that is what they do, and that's how they get away from any kind of danger. And as we can see, there's absolutely beautiful colouring. It's exquisite. Right, we'll put the lid back on that one, and then we're gonna, so I think hopefully we've got one good female there, and hopefully this one over here was a male. This one hasn't got anything in yet. We've got one in there. Not very good lid, that one. We'll go for that one. Now you see also as well, we've got different lids. We got the lids here with this have got the mesh on the top. So these are full of holes. Hopefully they won't chew their way out, because she'll be out of there if they do. Now, so these have got mesh, and then we've got others here that are completely sealed, and then we've got some that have got tiny holes in. So we're going to see which is going to be the best environment, which is going to work the best. Now, you'll also notice there that the substrate that we got in there is not really that damp. So we're going to see how that works. Lots and lots of things to play around with. Now we've got another little one here. We've got two in here that I can see. So we're going to get one of these out. And I think what we'll do is we'll move this one. We'll try and get him to, you never know. See, he's coming. There we go. You can see how delicate they are. There we go, he's in. That's cool. And what we will try and do is we'll try and get a little bit more footage using our iPhone and see if we can't get a bit of macro stuff. But we've got one spider left in there. Might be able to get one from the front. They are such tiny spiders, but so pretty with it. So we're going to see if we can't get one in from the front there. They really are very cool. Now we can see in the in this old box there's loads of molted skins in the bottom where these guys have molted out, and it would appear that we've lost one. So I think we haven't done too bad. Not too bad at all. So I think that's really good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to leave these guys in as they are. We'll give them 24 hours just to settle in, because what you got to remember is with your true spiders, things like this, their lifespan and the rate in which everything happens is so much faster than your tarantulas. So when we rehouse tarantulas, quite often we will give them 2, 3, sometimes 5, 7 days before we try and feed them. We give them a long time to actually settle in and get accustomed, especially adults. And then with tiny slings, we can normally go 2, 3 days and then we'll try and feed them. With these guys, 24 hours is more than enough. They will have settled in and they'd have got sorted. These tend to behave and adapt really fast. Most of your true spiders are like that. They're very quick to adapt. So we'll give these 24 hours, then we'll throw some flies in there and we'll watch them. By having them in these pots here, it means that we can clearly see them and we can get a good idea of who's who, because what we need to do now is find out as soon as possible what's going to be a male and what's going to be a female, and then we need to look at getting them paired up. There is no time to lose with these because of that short lifespan. So we really do need to be on the ball. But they're going to be an exciting project, a really exciting project. Something different from our tarantulas. We're used to seeing some big hairy things. Now we're looking at something that's very, very tiny, but really, really pretty. And we're going to try and get a little bit more of some close-up footage, and hopefully we'll get some half decent stuff and we can add that to it. Well, this is a little bit of close-up images here. Not the best in the world, I must admit, but look at the colour on that spider. Absolutely beautiful. And you can see there the design of the spider, very much like a wolf spider. Same sort of size, the way the head is and everything else. Very, very cool. And the colouring is absolutely exquisite, and this is what helps them blend into the grasses and the flowers, making them almost impossible to see. Now we can look at this one here, and you can clearly see the hairs on the legs, and these are thought to actually help our spider catch flying prey. So things like flies and things like that. So he's got legs almost like a Venus flytrap. Absolutely beautiful. These are going to be so interesting to study. Fantastic spiders. And like we said, if we can manage to breed them, I think it would be awesome to actually have, it'd be nice to see like a 45 exo with some grasses in the middle, and then just a bunch of them in there doing their thing. And then we could leave them to breed and go literally feral and see what happens. Just see how successful it could be. But yeah, very excited to have these. We've waited a long time for them, and they're growing really quick. I say we've had these now for must be 4 months, maybe 3 months, and they were almost invisible when we got them. They were so small. So they're growing really, really quick. I'm so excited. I'm really, really pleased. Right then. Well, I hope you liked our Lynx spiders. Don't forget, hit the like button on the video. It makes a massive difference to the channel. And thank you very much for all the comments on our previous video, our last video, where we done a little bit of myth busting with substrate and enclosure sizes. We really do welcome all the questions. It was great to see the input coming back from you guys, and some really, really cool and interesting thoughts on different things. So it's a really good place to sort of get down and have a bit of a discussion. And what I will say is, don't be afraid to ask your questions. You know, there is no silly questions. Get in there and ask the questions. Have a little think about it before you do it, but get in there, get your questions in there. It's really worth it, and it's an interesting thing to do. And what we're going to do now is maybe next week we'll try and do another one on a different subject. We've got a number of different subjects coming up, and we've had some cool suggestions. So keep the suggestions coming. We can all we can do is try and fulfill them. Right then. Well, that's about it from us here in the Beastie room. Don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spiders. And I will see you soon, guys.